I was like, what's the bet? He goes, 1 year. I said, 1 year what? He goes, 1 year, you won't have more than 20 people listening to this stream.
Do you ever?
On Saturday, September 8th.
Do you ever get into your car, turn on the radio, and hear something like this?
And Sunday, September 9th, we bring...
Ever wonder how a voice like that got to your radio in the first place?
The greatest show on earth! To Central Park.
Well, the voice you just heard was Mike Johnson. Mike has been in front of the microphone broadcasting radio since he came out of the womb. Within the stint of 12 months, his company, Ground Rush Media, won 38 Telly Awards and 9 Summit Creative Awards. Some of his clients included Def Jam, Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Tigers, MGM Pictures, Universal Music, Anheuser-Busch, and HBO, to name a few. His buddy bet him one time that he couldn't succeed at online radio broadcasting. So he and his team took their streaming app, Beehive, from 20 listeners to 250,000 in 1 year.
The first guest that we had was Justin Bieber.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What? Tangential side note, Mike keeps in good shape by doing triathlons, and his daughter thinks he looks like Pharrell Williams.
Rowan, who's this? Dada. Yes, Dada.
Currently, Mike has set out on a new venture of localized online radio stations catering specifically to your town. The first project is an app for his hometown, Decatur, Georgia, called Decatur FM. Look at this thing. You open it and it immediately starts playing. You can check your local news and even call into the station right from the app. It's quite the feat and has wicked potential for localized markets. I asked Mike to give me a tour of his studio and give the viewers a behind-the-scenes look into what it takes to create a professional radio broadcast. If you're interested in learning about the equipment and the production of a radio broadcast, hit that subscribe button and leave Mike a comment below on questions you might have about his app, Decatur FM, or just broadcasting and voiceover in general. If you're interested in hearing the full story of how Mike got to this place, his podcast is up here in this corner. Click it. All right, here we go. A tour of a professional brodscasting studio.
You know, anyone can basically do an online stream. I mean, you don't need
But
all
not
this
like
stuff.
Mike Johnson.
Not like Mike Johnson. What I tend to do is what I'm trying to compete against, or the terrain that I'm trying to even myself on, is that of an actual broadcast station. But I can't, just like most of us, I can't afford, the broadcast Wheatstone boards that cost $100,000. I tend to go more so the prosumer way, put a spin on it, right, to give it that radio broadcast feel with, the limiters and the compression and all that stuff that will give you that popping, I'm actually listening to a radio station.
On Saturday, September 8th.
First thing that I needed was obviously a broadcast board. This particular board that I use is an Airlight board. It's made by a company called DNR. They've decided to come out with an opportunity to be able to hook this up to a simple computer and have that same radio station type feel right here in my garage.
Do you have any other outboard gear, or are like compressors and equalizers and all that stuff all within here?
Everything happens in the computer. There's my board, and then the last thing, which for most people that would do this, I just went the step further. I have obviously request lines, and you don't need this. Like you really do not need to do something like this. Like if you had this and this, that's all you need, because these things actually have the ability to do voice over IP.
What's voice over IP?
So technically, if you have Skype, somebody can call your Skype request line. It's going to ring right here, and you can pick it up right here.
What microphones do you use?
I have always used Neumann's. This is the first time I've actually used
Audio
Technicas. They work pretty well, but it's a preference thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know we need mics, so I don't think I need to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
What I use in my computer is, so there's this software that I use. You guys need to look them up. They're really, really gnarly. It's called Radio Logic. What Radio Logic is, it's this guy who came up with a Mac version of a broadcast software. So what's really cool about it is it uses iTunes, right? So your actual iTunes library, you load it up with music, and then what happens is Radio Logic takes your music in iTunes and it pulls it in to its particular interface, and what it does is it gives you the logic of how to rotate music. So if I say, I don't want Justin Timberlake to play every day, I want it to play every 3 days, I can put the logic in there and it will shuffle your music and make it work like it's an actual radio station where it's actually programming music in, and it does it for you. I'm stepping away from the radio station is pretty much running itself right now. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to schedule any music. I don't have to schedule any drops or any announcements. It's already done for me. So let's work on our processing, right? I didn't want a whole bunch of outboard gear. I didn't have, I didn't want to spend the money on all the outboard gear. So there's a really cool company called Rogue Amoeba. I basically interfaced it with Radio Logic, and there's a whole bunch of tutorials and things that you can find out how to do it. I have pretty much my processing stream running through before it goes out to the world. So, you got the music comes in, it comes in through the board, and then it shoots out, and I basically have the input coming in, and I have, a limiter on there, I have a volume boost, I have some compression, and then it basically sends it out to my encoder. And
I love how you have 3 screens for all this stuff.
So my encoder is, you can have a whole bunch of different encoders. I choose to use this one encoder called LadioCast, and LadioCast pretty much takes the audio and sends it out to you guys how you can hear me. And on my encoder, I have 2 streams. One stream is running to like my website, to my mobile app, so on and so forth, and then this stream is running strictly to my home automation units, like Alexa, resume Decatur FM.
Enjoy Decatur FM.
There you go. So that's running.
How about that, man? That's so cool.
Alexa, stop.
Like, literally, he just showed you the source on the board, and then it comes up on Alexa. I love technology, man.
So one of the things that you got to think about when you're doing stuff like this is, all right, cool. So I have this great setup. So here I am. I've set this up, and I'm running, and I'm broadcasting to the world. Well, what if we lose power right now, right? What happens? Does the stream go off? Can people listen? Can people not listen? So I basically have a remote server, not here, not sitting on the property, that if we experience any loss of power, automatically it goes to that server, and it is identical. The server that's running is identical to what's on my computer. So you won't notice what happened. I'll know what happened because I'll be talking into my mic, and then all of a sudden everything goes off. But for the most part, musically, announcement-wise, radio-wise, nothing ever changes.
One question I was going to ask is about your signal processing. Do you experience any lag by using artificial stuff?
No.
Or is it just as robust as outboard gear?
Robust. It's just
That's
as
cool.
Robust. I thought about that at first, and I was very hesitant. To be honest with you, when I first started, when I first launched the stream, I was actually using a lot of outboard gear, and then I was just fed up with it because I was like, all right, cool, I got to use this. I just didn't want to deal with it. So I said, let me give them a try. I tried it out. I put it on. I literally went in the car, drove around. It didn't even take me that long to realize that's what I need to do.
Bam.
So I'll walk across here, and we'll do all our post-production stuff here and send it over to the stream with our voiceover stuff. See, I'm a big Neumann fan. That's one of them. This is the Big Daddy right here. This is the U87. Hold on, you gotta give it some love, man. Show some light, man. This is the Telos that we have. This is the only real outboard stuff that I use because we have 2 phones. We have a producer phone, and this is the brain of it right here. So this locks right into my board. So that goes right into my board, and anytime a call comes in, if a call comes in, they'll come here. Whoever's answering the phone's here. I don't have the computer on right now, but it latches into the computer. They can actually type in who's on the line, and I'll automatically see it over there, and I can pick up the call. And
how about that, man, for efficiency? You have it all. You can definitely tell the studio's built for from your experience of what you really need to do to accomplish what you need,
and how I need to move, and how quickly I need to move. Because at the end of the day, I got to realize there's a multi-million-dollar giant down the street that's doing this stuff, and they can move.
Look at this treehouse of a recording. So it's so awesome, though.
It's like a clubhouse, yeah. So,
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. Where can they find you?
They can find us at Decatur FM on everything social, and then me personally at Bruce Wayne 9 on Instagram. That's all I use, so that's the only place.
And Decatur FM is an app, is it not?
Yes, find it on. You can find it on Google Play, and you can find it in the App Store. On
Dre's got it down.
Yeah, Dre. And then for Alexa, you can download the Alexa skill. I hate saying her name because she always answers. Alexa, stop. But you can do that if you want to listen to Decatur FM. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, also check out our podcast that I just did with him. Probably one of the best stories that I've had on the podcast. It's really awesome. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and all those things. Till next time, live a life of abundance. There you go.
And what I do a lot of times is, once again, I go from radio station to radio station. I'll listen to theirs, then I'll switch over to my stream, and we sound a lot better than they do. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So, and then the rest of the studio is just like
it's a studio looking
yeah,
studio.
It's very small.